showing us through their actions, through what they focus on, how enslaved they really are, how unable they actually are to love one another. But who else made the list? Asking the question from Time Magazine. Number 2 is Seattle. Number 3 is Pittsburgh. Number 4 is Miami. Number 5 is San Francisco. Number 6 is Dallas. Number 7 is San Bernardino, California. Bernardino. How do you say it, Bill? I gotta get to California. Bernardino. Denver, San Diego, and Houston. And then we have another one here. Which U.S. cities have the most casual sex? And again, Portland is number 1. And I would be interested to hear what the audience has to say in relation to this article. But moving on to this one more about robots and cuddling. No, we're gonna skip that one as well. We'll probably skip the other article about all these people are like dancing and stripping in this beautiful economy just to pay for dental school. I'm sure we'll just skip that one because I'm supposed to believe they're all sexually liberated here, and everything is fine, and ain't nothing but a G thing. So we'll just go ahead and move on. Ron Paul banner bomb, Portland, Oregon, and this was uploaded several days ago. We'll go ahead and play this video, and then we'll play the Jon Stewart clip after that.
So we're out here on the Burnside Bridge in Portland, Oregon with Laney Maxwell. And what brings you out here today on one of our rare Portland summer days here that we've had?
I guess my love for Ron Paul.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The sun's really beating down today on us here. Does that affect your excitement level at all?
I guess it makes it more exciting because people can see the signs better.
Yeah, so this reminds me, for those watching,
this is downtown Portland, Oregon.
Let me know what dates you want me to promote.
Now, I know
for the
people
big
that have moved here
meetups,
from
and I'll
San
promote those
Francisco
on this show.
And they concede that Portland is the most liberal area that they've ever been
And they have the most sex, too.
So there's a chance.
And they drink them.
The Constitution! And the war!
So there's a chance here that we are in
Wake
the
them up,
most liberal
kids.
square mile that
Wake them up
exists
from their
in the
BDSM
nation.
trance.
Are you
Getting
guys at
spanked
all
by Big Daddy
concerned
government.
with people coming
Wake them up from the
along, flipping you
S&M
off,
friggin' reality.
screaming
Getting beat up by
obscenities?
Big Daddy, Big Bush, Big Bama.
There's more thumbs up than
Tell them that's good.
That's a good sign.
And
To be
you
loved
think
by
that
your
has
government,
something
not
to do
being
with
by your
the,
government. And we need to choose better
and the war,
politicians.
the anti-war movement, which is also very strong in the Portland area.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're going to end the master-slave relationship.
Giving the fingers and the thumbs down are just maybe not informed, and they just think every Republican candidate is all the same, and everybody's just going to be another Bush.
Yeah, they don't listen to the, they don't think for themselves. They listen to the mainstream media, and that's what they base their opinions on.
Seconds.
Yeah. People come by on their bikes when they make snarky comments.
So for a lot of people, like Jon Stewart is their source of news.
Can you say that again, please? Yeah? No, you said something else, too. You don't mind repeating it?
Portland's nasty, folks.
So we're here with another Ron Paul fan. And I can't help but notice your shirt there. I've seen a lot of different Ron Paul style shirts, but I've never seen this one here. Where'd you get that one at?
Well, I wish I could really exactly remember. It was just online, and I thought it looked pretty good, so I said I want that one. I remember I got a big sign just like it that I put on my van.
Okay, now I know Peter's in the line there, and Peter, we're gonna get to you in just a moment. Here is Jon Stewart making some of the points that he made.
Dominating the Ames straw poll, we got ourselves a race.
We have a top tier. It is Mitt Romney, Rick Perry, and Michelle Bachmann.
We have a new top tier, and it's Perry, Mitt Romney, and Bachmann.
There's now a top tier in this race, at least for now, of Romney, Perry, and Bachmann.
I mean, I think that's fair to say. Really fair to say? You're not forgetting, I don't know, anyone, say an ideologically consistent 12-term congressman who came within less than 200 votes of winning the straw poll? Isn't anyone going to give that gentleman a little love?
There's a top tier now of Bachmann and Perry and Romney, and, you know, we haven't mentioned, and we should.
Thank you.
We haven't mentioned, and we should, Rick Santorum, who did really surprisingly well for the amount of money and resources he had.
Rick Santorum? He didn't get half of
the amount of
Ron
money
Paul
and
got.
resources,
Yeah,
how successful they are. The multinational corporations, yes, they have a chance.
Santorum?
We're looking at Mitt Romney, who continues to be the front runner, but we have Rick Perry as well, and now Michelle Bachmann. Let's not count out Jon Huntsman, though.
What? Jon Huntsman? Huntsman got 69 votes. If all of Jon Huntsman's supporters met at the same Ames, Iowa Quiznos, the fire marshal would say, yeah, that's fine, no problem. There's still some tables open in the back. Huntsman was the only Mormon running in the straw poll, and he came in second amongst Mormons. And by the way, this pretending Ron Paul doesn't exist for some reason has been going on for weeks.
A new Gallup survey showing Rick Perry running second to Mitt Romney, knocking down Iowa favorite Michelle Bachmann to fourth.
Behind who? Fourth behind who? How did Libertarian Ron Paul become the 13th floor in a hotel? Why? What's wrong with... He is Tea Party patient zero.
Now, honey, we don't talk politics, religion, or Ron Paul at the dinner table, now do we?
These other folks, they're just moral majorities in a tri-cornered hat. Ron Paul's the real deal, and Fox News should love this guy. But watch the disconnect between the debate moderators at Fox's Thursday debate and the debate audience.
Iran does not have an air force that can come here, just like we did in Iraq. Build up the war propaganda. There was no Al-Qaeda in Iraq, and they had nuclear weapons, and we had to go in. I'm sure you supported that war as well.
It's time
we quit this. It's trillions of dollars we're spending on these wars.
Just nod. Confidence. We'll win over the women, and the men will follow the women. Oh, yes.
What's with the smirk and the eye roll? The guy gives it the crowd goes nuts and you do one of these.
Oh, an air of confidence. All right. So.
There goes crazy Uncle Ron.
We hear that Peter has called in. We will take Peter's call, and then we will play probably one of the last videos of the evening. So good evening, Peter.
Oh. Hi, Alex. I have a liberal biblical assist for you and your listeners. It kind of relates to the saying that you use to close your shows with. It takes 40 seconds or so. Are you ready? Yeah. Jesus draws contrast between his kingdom dynamics versus the Jewish law and the prophets' dynamics. The two dynamics are very different from one another. What distinguishes Christendom above some lesser religions is what I call kingdom dynamics, where the word kingdom comes from Jesus, and the word dynamics God has chosen from out of the field of psychiatry, where the word dynamics is singular and refers to love relationships. Kingdom dynamics begins from within. Both the truth and the kingdom dynamics begin from within.
The path to the ultimate place of truth and power still lies within. Yeah, it's another way of saying that. And I think we forget that. We forget that sometimes individually as we face the kind of crap that we're going through. And it's important to come back to that, especially when everyone say someone loses everything. And thank you for your call, Peter. Thank you very much for your call, which leads me to my next point, where somebody... Is that the last phone call? Is that... Okay. I'm going to make these closing statements, and then we're going to go out to Star Trek warning us back in 1967 about the New World Order. That's how we're actually leaving the show tonight. This video from Star Trek. But I became homeless about a year ago, and I've been surviving since then, bouncing around to different places, and staying with different people. But it's when you lose everything that you start looking other places for power, towards other things for inspiration, outside of what you used to do in the past. So the things that are happening to the whole nation as a whole economically, in fact, the world, part of it is a necessary lesson. So there's the fact that some of the stuff is staged, and there's the downward effect, and there's also the liberating experience of learning that we can survive, we can live outside the box of the dollar. We can live less with less. But the only point I brought this up is that people keep asking me week after week, Alex, how can we find the show online? How can we see some of your old shows? And when are you going to start interviewing some other people and posting them online? And that's why I'm reminding you guys tonight, at any point, if anyone does want to help out this show, it is needed. That means providing a backyard where I can pitch a tent, or any other place of stability to where I can focus on this show. Because yes, I go through hardship, and yes, I'm not the only one. And part of it, though, was due to the fact that I'm not going to spend my time, which is my most precious asset, serving someone else's system. Because those days, especially for me, are gone. And I'm not going back to those. In fact, for me, it's a lifetime where I'm supposed to be focusing on some of those things, on some of these headlines, and what I do, that's producing a TV show. So I do need help out there for those watching, either in the obvious ways, financial, but in practical ways, equipment, i.e. laptop, computer, hard drive, help with WordPress, website help and assistance, and also there's limited places that I have to go in this town to go and get things done, get work done, and that's provided a lot of unneeded stress in my life. So I'll mention this week after week. No one's really responded to offer anything. And so that's why some of these things aren't moving along with organization of the content of this show in previous shows. So that is the goal of mine, to do that in the future, in the near future, but I can only do those things as the help comes in, because the resources are limited and PCM laptops like this are only available at certain times. So that's how you can help if you would like to help the show. There's other ways you can help as well if you do feel the incentive or the calling. And with that, I want to thank you all for watching, and it's been an exciting last 6 years of hosting the show, and I look forward to being here next week hosting another edition of Outside the Box. And of course, the show would not be possible without people like Bill, volunteers like Bill helping me out so I can produce your show. Also, volunteers like Mike as well, who's in the control room. We have one last phone call that has called in. If they are there, we'll take their call briefly, but we only have about 1 minute left. So with that, go ahead, caller.
Hello?
You have about 1 minute.
Is this the comic book show?
No, it's not the comic book show.
Oh, okay. I was trying to get on with the comic book show.
Okay, good luck. For future reference, make sure you know what time the show was broadcast. You have called a live show that's currently airing on 23, and I highly recommend you watch Outside the Box. It'll teach you a lot of stuff. Thank you very, very much for your call. There's also one other video that I wanted to play, and this video, it's kind of something funny to go out with. This signifies to me sometimes what I think is going on with a lot of us in the spiritual astral realm. This battle between the light and dark, the good and evil, those that are working with the angels battling those that are working directly with demons. But this is a scene from Big Trouble in Little China, which came out in the 1980s. Got some